Hey everyone! Today we're expanding VinterGard in a big way. We're creating the highest point in the entire park, building a new summit train station, and connecting it to a gondola that descends into a massive underground dwarven city. So let's get started. Alright, so we're finally getting to the new side of VinterGard. I had several different ideas of what direction I wanted to go over here, but I wanted to make sure that it was a pretty high mountain range with some kind of scenery in the front of it. Just couldn't figure out exactly what direction, so had to do a little bit of storytelling in my head to kind of figure out what we're gonna do here, because for me, I find it easiest when I can figure out what my story is and building off that, just like I did with the Ayr's port. Once I figured out that I wanted to represent Ayr somehow, and around it we can build upon that, everything else became easier. Obviously, building different kinds of structures and such take time, it's tedious, but it's so fun once you know what your story is. And for this area, my story was I wanted a dwarven underground city, and on the top some kind of representation that not only is this the highest point in VinterGard, you can look at the whole park from here, but it has to represent maybe a god from Norse mythology. So I went with Skadi, and she is a god of winter, mountains, and also just independence, privacy. So really it was the best spot to represent not just her lore, but taking that story and building upon it. Right here we are trying to make the underground area. It was really tricky to kind of figure out where exactly I wanted this to go, how large it needed to be, and also represent a large cave that a city is under. It has to be, from the outside, very underwhelming. You don't know what you're walking into once you go past the entrance. That was really my goal, was to not let you expect what you're gonna see. I don't even know if that sentence was right, but I just wanted it to be a surprise for the guest. Right here, I'm trying to see, okay, is this high enough? Do I need to lower the terrain? Taking the largest rides and seeing how they fit really helped me get an idea. That's how I decided, okay, we need to lower the terrain. The walkway, the staircase that'll go down here, it's gonna have to be bigger, but that's totally fine. I think the more grandiose this looks, even the staircase looking grand, it's gonna be so cool. So just lowering the terrain, getting it to the level that I felt was right. And around that, we're going to be able to build, a little river system that I'll show you guys in a little bit. It was a lot of fun in trying to terraform all of this out, because a lot of times I don't do too much terraforming unless I want a mountain range around my park or to shape out a pond or a lake. This was my first time trying to get a full working cave happen, and I also wanted these natural pillars that go from the ceiling of the cave to the ground. Really important to get this in, because I think it shows this organic look. And they're so large because you guys will see this not only in the walkthrough that we'll do towards the end, but as we're building it really, I'm trying to find the right word, but when I started this whole section, this new section of VinterGard, I was worried that, okay, I don't know what direction I'm gonna go. Even if I terraform this all out, is it gonna look maybe goofy or just not natural, maybe forced? But I think once you start to add proper scenery and blend everything together, because again, when you're on the ground view, you're seeing what's around you and directly in front of you. So if you can keep the guest eye busy with things around them, I think it helps a lot. Even in the bird's eye view, there might be a bit of a messy look, as long as on the ground it looks like it makes sense and everything blends well together, it helps a lot. Even though, you know, having a bird's eye view and seeing a large park with all its lights on, it isn't just overwhelming, but it's really cool to, you know, see everything put together. And I noticed a lot of that once we were done with this area, and was really happy with the way VinterGard was coming along. Now I'm just trying to start making a bridge, and my idea for this bridge was that, again, just like the cave, it needs to be grandiose. It's right in front of the Grand Terminus station. As you're boarding that train, you will see this. You will see the large pond in front of you, as well as the bridge. I'm kind of leaning towards taking one of the paths from the right side of the entrance of the station, the Grand Terminus station, and having it weave its way towards this large pond, and maybe making a cafe, or I was thinking maybe a ice cream shop, and a nice little seating area just so that you can look over at the pond, a little break from the rest of the park. So gonna look into how I can get that done. It should be easy, but I'll get that hopefully done in the next episode or so. Now, this was the little river system I was talking about earlier that I wanted going through the dwarven underground city. The water that's basically being supported here is coming from the top where the pond is. We made a bit of a small little dam, and that little pond that descends from the larger pond, that one is where the water falls from the bottom and goes into the dwarven area. I hope that makes sense. But I just wanted to make sure that we had some cool features like that. I will try to figure out, how to make a whirlpool looking thing at the smaller pond, just so it looks like water is actually going down there. I believe Taji3D has a video of making a whirlpool kind of thing, and the one he made is so cool. Very intense looking, so I don't know if the intense version of that's gonna work, but I'm sure we can make a more mild version of that. And now we're just really trying to make sure that the bridge fits VinterGard. It can't just be one that's got supports under it. It's, you know, looks like it's a bridge. Just, it can't be a normal one. I wanted to make sure that the edges match the energy that we're going for here, a modern Nordic park. So I went with some of the sorcery pieces, using those for the lights. They came in very handy, and I think they're very fitting here. As well as this bridge is a gateway to the rest of the park, as well as a gateway to the dwarven area. It might seem a little large, to be honest. You guys will see it in the walkthrough when we do that, but from the Grand Terminus station, it's very large, but for some reason it fits. I was worried that I was going overboard, but I'm kind of glad with the end result. It all blended well together. Now, right here you guys are seeing basically trying to add realism, that this is a little mini dam where the water's coming through and will eventually go into the dwarven area, as well as adding nature, making this area look comfortable. Again, I said I wanted to maybe have a small path come from the Main Street Grand Terminus area and lead into a small shop with a seating area. So making sure that this area looks appealing, it looks fun, as well as not only when you're walking from the bridge, but when you're boarding your train, you look over and you're like, oh wow, we're gonna see that eventually in the park. I think having these little teasers as you're going through the park, but that they're far enough that you're not sure exactly how to get there, but you will eventually, I think that's a lot of fun. You see that when you're driving into an amusement park sometimes, right? You'll look at a ride and you'll just be like, okay, that's cool, I really want to ride that. You have to figure out where that is. Obviously, it's not hard to do, but I think adding these little teasers throughout the park as a guest or weaving through it, it's so much fun. Now here, we're just completing the whole dwarven underground area, and I'm still trying to think of a name for this place. I'm leaning towards adding dwarven in there, but I'm not entirely sure. If I think of something better, I'll definitely do that. Here we're again adding that realism, showing that this is where the water is coming through from, where the top pond area is. I'm going to use a lot of these keep wall pieces throughout the build in the underground area. I think they're probably the most fitting because in Norse mythology, the dwarven people, they're known for woodworking, metalwork, as well as stone, and so we want to make sure that we, represent them in the best way, but also keeping in line with the modern Nordic aesthetic that we're going for in this park. I'll show you guys a bit of an idea that I have when we do the walkthrough, what kind of building styles I'm going for, because again, when the guests walk from the bridge and the pond area and enter this cave, I want it to be a wow moment, that they're just like, oh my gosh, there is a whole city down here. There'll be a roller coaster, maybe a smaller one too, but I definitely will make a large roller coaster there. And then there's going to be shops, a few flat rides. It'll just be a lot of fun, not just for the guests, but I'm looking forward to building it and showing you guys what we've done, because it's going to be the first time for me building underground. So lighting is definitely going to be a challenge for us, but it's going to be fun. Now we're creating the newer area. This is the highest point in VinterGard. My story for this area, like I said, is representing Skadi. I hope I'm saying her name right. So, like I said, she is the god of winter, mountains, and also independence and quietness. Being that this is completely far from the rest of the park, but still is connected with the park, wanted to make sure that it has good representation. This train track you're seeing here is the one that is connected to the Grand Terminus station. It'll be basically circling the whole park. This is, I believe, our second station stop. And from here, there's also a gondola, and this gondola descends into the Dwarven underground area. So basically, guests will have two ways to get into that cave. Either they can walk from Ayr's Port past Loki's Rift, or if they're taking the train, they want a nice scenic view as they're checking out the park, they'll be able to stop here. We'll make a few shops. I'm even thinking about making a coaster up here, because not only will it attract guests to come up here, but I think it'd be a great way to get a mountainside coaster that dives into the mountain. I think that would be so cool. And for the next few episodes of VinterGard, it'll be building up these areas. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll go over some more details and what we're going to get done in the walkthrough. So I'll see you guys in that. All right, so here we are. I thought it'd be kind of fun to just do a quick recap of everything that's been done in VinterGard so far. Since we have started on the new area, why not check out what we've done so far? We'll just do a quick little run through. So this is where it all started, and I haven't been in this part of the area or park in some time, so I gotta get rid of some of these Christmas trees, because as you guys know, we started this park during Christmas time, so there was definitely some inspiration there for the holidays, and we're getting a lot of guests come in here. They've got their outpost station here where they can enter the park in. We're not going to get on that, it's going to take us a while. And we'll just come right over here where the guests are let off. And they see this large archway that leads into a bridge. And there are actually quite a bit of you that are new to my channel, as well as the whole VinterGard series, so I thought it'd be kind of cool for you guys to check out what's been done if you haven't seen the other videos. Getting a little bit of lag, might have to lower the guest count. I don't know if my PC is able to handle that. Okay. And you guys remember, some of you guys remember this. I was so proud of this at the time, making this little bridge that goes over the water. And this is our main street. right after the entrance area. Again, gotta remove some of these Christmas decorations. I'm gonna keep the string lights and the fairy lights. I think it's pretty fitting for the main street and just looks cool. We just have to get rid of this tree right here. So let's change these names, because Grand Terminus Station is fine, but I believe over there it's still called Steam Lake. And over there we had the High Sleigh flat ride. And then this will eventually lead to the Whispering Pines area. We still have quite a bit to work on, and I'm so excited because, to be honest, we're almost coming all the way around. We're right over there. You guys can see the gondola and the Scotty's station up there. And right here we had the first ride of VinterGard. This was a really fun build. And I'm just gonna head into the Grand Terminus Station, because I think from there you can see the large pond as well as just that bridge and how the look I was going for and what you should be able to see. Right over there you can head into Ayersport, and you have two ways to get there. You can go that way or from this archway, which leads to another flat ride. I'm forgetting the name of that ride right now. Oh my gosh. And right here we have this fun station. You got some drink options. I don't know how I walked through that. I thought I took that path out. And then you can get their tickets right over there. You guys have seen this. I'm not going to go over that again. And I should be able to walk over. Yep. And there you go. There's a large pond. It looks cool. And the large bridge. At night, this is going to look awesome. I'm going to change that lighting here for you guys just so you can see that. We should have done that from the get-go. And I don't know if you can see them from here. I think you should be able to. Do you see those fish? You can kind of see a silhouette of them. I took the idea of how we use the Viking boats over at Ayersport and use the I forget the name of the track ride, and just put the floating lantern fish, and so they very, very slowly move along the pond. I believe from the bridge you can see them more easily. Okay, so we'll kind of head over to where we had finished off last time. And you guys remember all of this. This was the first coaster right here, and it's our most popular coaster, as it should be. And then our most intense coaster, the second one, being Njord's Gale. Not as many riders, but we got a few people. Some brave people. I like it. And then we had this plaza here. That was again another fun build. And still to this day, my favorite build is Ayersport. Just the details, the way everything came together, as well as the lighthouse, having the guests come along this path to kind of force people to walk here. I think this was such a fun build. I can't wait to do more like this in the future. And my first attempt at a dark ride. And again, this was a lot of fun. Okay, so basically, now the guests could either take the train and go all the way to the top there, and they'll eventually reach the Dwarven underground city. Okay, for a second there it stopped and I got worried, but the game was saving. Okay, that was a little spooky. Okay. Here I'm debating to make like maybe a garden scene. There's a lot of gaps we need to fill throughout the park, and I'm wondering if I should do an episode where we just speed build all of these kind of gaps that are empty. I think that could be fun, or I could do that off camera. I'll figure that out when that time comes. Ignore this. I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out what kind of gable to put here. I was debating that, but for some reason it just didn't look right. So there's some work that needs to be done there. So I'll get that done off camera. And not sure I was leaning that way. This is the little pathway or staircase that leads up to the bridge. And this is really cool. At night, I'll show you guys that. It's going to look fantastic. And I'm trying to see, before we make it darker, just if we can find the fishies. Where are you guys? I might have made them too slow, to be honest. Oh, there they are. So I would like to make my custom version of this, put them on some of the moving platforms. But I thought for the time being it'd be kind of cool just to have these guys. I think they're not moving because the coaster is not on testing. So I'll definitely change that. But here is the bridge. I think it looks fantastic from right here. And you can hear that water from the dam part. Yeah, right there. Ignore the, what are they called? Just the scenery pieces for the water features. I'll probably lower that or just add a few more rocks just to cover them up. But I think this is cool, having the river foam make it look like the water's directly going into this area. I think it really completes the look. And then you have the secondary pond where the water will eventually fall into the dwarven area. Somewhere right here is where I'm thinking about making, should probably zoom out, where I'm thinking about making the whirlpool that makes it look like the water's eventually falling down there. And I realize there's no lighting in here, so we'll have to do this in the daytime because I'm pretty sure it's gonna look really dark. This is the staircase that leads down. I could have had it directly come from right there, have that drop, but it sort of fell right there. And then I would have to create a new pillar, which I can. But I tested out this setup with the staircase, and to be honest, it's kind of fun to have the guests weave down, and as they're doing so, they're seeing the park, not the park, the underground city. I think it's a pretty cool idea because there'll be a lot going on here. It'll be like a stone main street as well as over there. And I believe the coaster will probably be somewhere back there. And that'll weave throughout the cave, which will look amazing. And that is the drop-off station for the gondola that comes from Scotty's station. I feel like I'm saying Scotty, like S-C-O-T-T-Y. I promise I'm not. We're just gonna have to decorate that and just make it look appropriate, which I'm sure I'll figure out a way to do that. As a guest come this way, they will also get another view of, I bet you if I pause it, yeah, it is not laggy anymore, huh? It's kind of difficult to look at that lag. There's where the water is basically falling from the smaller top pond down to here and eventually making its way over to this river. And I'll show you guys where it goes off to. And adding those foam scenery pieces again for the water, making it look like it's directly going all the way that area. I'm sure there's a better way to say that. But I'm so happy with the way this turned out. As well as using that trick from Taji 3D, taking the wave simulator pieces that we've used in Night Year Sport, just adding these waves. Really forcing the water, making it look like the water is going that direction. Let's go ahead and head into the cave, and I'm going to show you guys what I was talking about when it comes to the building style that I'm going for. And before we do that, again, another just exit for the water, because right here we are actually at the end of the buildable area. You can't build past this part. I'll show you guys what I mean. I'll actually just take, yeah, one of these. So yeah, can't build past there. We're literally at the edge of the park, which is pretty funny. And what I have in mind, it's not going to be exactly this. It's one of my creations from a while ago, back when the Sorcery pack just came out. A main street with these type of buildings, I think will look fantastic. Not as gothic looking as this does, especially with the way the roof is, the spires and such, but using the same keepstone pieces. Is that floating? Okay. Just want to show you guys what it looks like on the ground. We'll just put a few. Make sure we're not getting any of that path. And you guys will also be able to see just how large this cave is actually when we do this. Go right on the bottom here, and what I wanted to achieve, I believe we got it. It doesn't look like when we're building that this is as large as it is, but just look at us on ground level right now. That is a high ceiling for a cave. And I'm so happy with the way it turned out. It's exactly what I wanted. I'm thinking about layering buildings along the wall of the cave, just to make it look like they won't be functional, but it will complete the look. And so basically something like this. It won't be these buildings, but using these keepstone and having them line along the path on this side. And on this side, we'll actually have probably 4 or 5 bridges that go across the river and connect to the other side. And again, the guests have the choice to go that way, or they'll be able to go this way, but they won't be stuck. They'll be able to use the bridges that connect and come over to this side. It's almost like it's a whole new park down here. And I think that's why I'm so excited for the build. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to show you guys that. So let's go ahead and get rid of those before I forget. And I hope you guys enjoyed this build right here. Not just build, I don't think I showed a lot of the process, but the way it turned out, I think it's fantastic. Are you guys on testing? Can I click you? There you are. Sometimes, I don't know why, it's got to be a glitch with Frontier. I'm not able to put in testing, and maybe being in the game for a little bit, it eventually works. So not sure what's going on with that. Hopefully there's a fix for it. And we're just going to turn off the lights here. Or just make it dark enough so that we can see. Yeah, that's good. With the starry sky. Oh, I should probably press play. There you go. So now you can really see the lights throughout the park. Okay, sorry about that. My recording stopped for a bit. So this is what they're seeing. We use some of those rune pieces throughout the pond. I'm gonna add some more lighting just so you can see more, especially once we have that ice cream shop idea I have. It'll probably be right about there, because over here the train track, yeah, I'll think about it a little bit more. I'm favoring that side, but if it works better over here, I'll do that. And you're seeing Grand Terminus Station from right here, right across. I think it looks so cool. Honestly, when this whole project for this area started, I didn't think it would turn out exactly like this, but I'm so glad it did. And let's go ahead and see what the cave looks like. I don't think we're gonna be able to see in there. But let me know what you guys think about the way this entrance is. Should I close off the cave from those sides? Just terraform it upwards and then just leave the opening right about here? I think that could be kind of cool. Or is it kind of nice the way it's just this large open hole? Yeah, I think this works too. Is it paused? Yeah. And the way the moon looks it looks so cool from right here. Okay. And yeah, just like I said, it's super dark in here. Figuring out lighting for this is going to be a fun project. I really believe that. Alright, so let's go to the second part of the build here. And this is Scotty's station. We've got our gondola going up to even higher point of VinterGard. I'm going to have to terraform a little bit better here, I believe, just to make this look maybe a little better. Look somewhat more natural and organic. And as well as right here, I'm not the happiest with the way this is, but when the snow is settled on it, you guys will see that it does look really cool. But without snow, it's kind of messy, so I am kind of testing out using small trees like I have right here, kind of giving that forced perspective look that this is quite in the distance. And when you put small trees up like that, you guys can see that. Wow, did it get dark all of a sudden? Let's go ahead and head over here and check out our station. So we'll basically start where the guest will be when they enter this area. And they walk right here? Yeah. So they'll get off the train right here. after crossing Ayersport. Walk down the staircase, and right here I'm thinking about adding a shop there and some really fun seating so that the guests can look out at the park. Because you're getting the best view in the park, I believe. And down right there is the gondola. Some more work needs to be done to the station itself. You guys can see the flickering of the wall piece right there on the station. And down there I need to add some more just realism that this is a gondola station that they can use. Did we hop out of the window? Yeah, we did. And I also tinted these windows. I might lower the tint percentage of it just so that at nighttime the guests can see a little bit better. But I think this is a really cool view that the guests are getting. We'll look at the bottom part. And right over there is a queue from the gondola to get back onto the train if they'd like. So they'll get down here, and again there'll be some more options on this side. Maybe a flat ride and some shops. That's the queue to get on the gondola. Very, very short queue. I'm not sure how many guests are actually going to come up to here. It's one of our friends. And on this side, I believe... Sorry, my OBS recording pauses on its own right now. I don't think it's a short key that I'm pressing. But over here, I'm thinking we can place a coaster. That'll be a mountain themed coaster inspired by Scotty. There'll definitely be a lot of testing and trying to make sure it doesn't mess with the gondola. But I think the gondola looks really cool from here. As we got our friend just staring at us. Or, no, they're not. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way that turned out. And right here, for some brave guests, I don't think their head will get hurt by the gondola if they're standing here, but you really see the park from here. You can see Main Street right over there. The Grand Terminus station. Heimdall's coaster, the building, the hall itself is so large. I didn't realize how large I made it, but it's pretty cool. He deserves it. And there's the train, actually, the outpost station train. And right here we've got Ayersport. And the way the boat is moved, like weaving through the port, I think it looks so cool, and I'm glad we did that. And the lighting on the lighthouse also looks fantastic. And you get a little glimpse of Njord's Gale and his home right there, as well as the first drop for the coaster. And I'm also kind of glad we're not seeing the top of Loki's Rift, because it is just a black square, as you guys know. So I'm going to make sure that the guests aren't seeing too much of that. Because again, you guys are seeing right here, the guest perspective is exactly what's around them, in front of them, on top of them. And when it comes to that, everything, to me at least, looks fantastic. And I'm looking around. I think lighting could be a lot better up here. Can definitely make a change to that. Let's go ahead and add some snow. I just want you guys to be able to see all different versions of this. We speed that up, maybe the snow. Yeah, we'll settle. So it looks a lot more fantastic. Like a proper ski lift right there too. Not sure how snow is coming into the cave. I saw this earlier. Once we get in there, it disappears. So it could be my... Not could be, I definitely know it's my PC. And I lowered my graphics, but I'll definitely look into... I'm working on trying to get a better PC so I can run these games much better and make even higher quality videos for you guys. But I think this looks fantastic. Especially from up here. We'll just quickly look out the window. This is a spot I would definitely grab some coffee. Just sit here, stare at the mountain ranges, look at the gondola, and see the rest of VinterGard. I think it looks fantastic. And I want to hear from you guys what you guys think of this station, the way the cave turned out, and just the way everything has turned out so far in this episode and for VinterGard so far. Yeah, that's a view right there. I don't know if it's thumbnail worthy, but that's a view and I love it. So I'll definitely, I'm gonna be working more on this station. We'll get some more work done. But overall, I'm really happy with the way everything has turned out here. I could probably add a little bit more Viking aesthetic to the station up here. I'll definitely do something like that because we just have these small little details like this trim right here. It's definitely keeping in line with the modern look of our park, but I think we've kind of moved away from some of that Nordic aesthetic, so I'll definitely add some of those details and trims so we can, you know, continue that trend. But again, you guys, I'm so happy with the way this park has turned out. And thank you guys so much for joining me on each of these episodes. I hope you guys have been enjoying them as much as I have. And a quick update, if you guys have made it this far, hope you have. For March, my brother's getting married. And so as for VinterGard episodes, there won't be any new ones because I enjoy making them, as well as they take time, creativity. So I don't want to ever lack or, you know, not give it my 110% on each episode and each build. So in order to do that, you know, I spend a lot of time in not just my editing, but making sure the park is exactly what I'm proud of, and I hope I make you guys proud of. That's not the right way to say that again. I hope you guys are proud of too, to see, because again, you are spending your time to watch these videos, and I want to make sure your time is worth it. So for March, there won't be any new videos because my brother's getting married, and it's a week-long marriage. So there's a lot of prepping for that, as well as it's my wife and I's anniversary, so we're going to be doing a few things for that. So I pre-recorded videos for some of the other series, but there won't be as much of a frequency on VinterGard and such. However, back in April, we're coming back with a bang. There are going to be some amazing builds, I'm just really excited. I think it's going to give me a fresh start back into the park, and it's just going to be so cool to see what you guys see for the rest of VinterGard. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you guys too. But all in all, thank you guys so much for joining me on this series, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day as well as a wonderful week. Take care. Bye.